Well, I'm trying my hardest, Charles, to get a butterfly to land on me, and I'm doing like a little bit of a can you play the statue game?
Yeah,
I'm trying.
Don't move, don't move.
I'm trying really hard. But we're here in the Butterfly Conservatory in Niagara, and with a whole summer ahead of us, with time to fill with activities, this is one spot people desperately need to come.
Well, I'm going to say here in the Butterfly Conservatory, it is always summer. It's lovely today. It's the best environment for our butterflies. And well, we always like to say there's wonder every moment as it unveils here in the Butterfly Conservatory. 2,000 flying butterflies at any given time.
Look at them.
They're always playing.
I love that.
I want to be a butterfly.
I had no idea that they were so playful. They play tag.
Yeah.
Scared I'm going to step on one. Gotta be very careful where you walk in here. How many different species?
So at any given time, there's about 40 species that you're going to find here in the conservatory.
Wow.
And these species are diversified in many different ways, but we curate the conservatory really to promote flower bloom and nectar and food source, and also to educate our public as they're visiting about some of these really cool plants that butterflies need to survive.
Well, it's very interesting because, yes, you've got your own ecosystem in here. A lot of different types of foliage, a lot of different types of like water species, almost like in terms of the plants, which is very cool.
That's right. And, you know, butterflies are similar to people in the sense we all have our favorites.
Yeah.
And so we break it down into two different types of food source. One is really about nectar plants, so food and sustenance. And the other is really about host plants for them to lay their eggs and then obviously hatch into caterpillars and continue with their life cycle. So many of the plants that you'll find here are categorized into those two streams. I would say other things to also mention is that plants also are a great spot for rest. They're also a great spot for them to sort of take a break and look around, and also just protection, generally speaking.
Yeah, and they don't really have any predators in here. I mean, they're safe from everybody except for humans. Yeah, except for us, right? We're their biggest predator in here.
That's right.
That's what I mean. You have to be careful where you walk. This is the coolest thing ever. This is like where baby butterflies are born.
That's right. Well, so, you know, butterflies and moths have this 4 cycles to their life, and in their life cycle. And so when they get to this point, they're in their pupa or chrysalis, and we come in, we put them onto these core cords, attaching just at the silk, and then they emerge. And every single butterfly or moth has its own sort of cycle and timing. But typically by the point they're here, they're getting ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke, you have one on your shoulder. Don't move.
Yeah.
I'm trying to take a picture of it. It's very sweet. Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
So you can see all these species, and in fact, these windows here, you can put your hand up and you feel a little bit of a negative pressure. And that helps them find the conservatory. We'll open up the doors perhaps every hour just to give that release and let them out.
Okay.
And what's cool here is that then we can, like, look at them. They're all like little jewelry,
so cool.
And just so many really cool things. I think one almost looks like a cross-trainer running shoe. And they're really, really cool. And, you know, a lot of times chrysalis and pupa are made to conceal them, whatever environment they're coming from.
And you guys do a behind-the-scenes tour. Just started?
We do, and this is really, really a great opportunity to share, like, what the Keebler owls do behind the scenes,
totally.
With the butterflies. And so we rear about 40,000 of our own.
Wow.
And so back there, you're going to see plants that are not only for putting into the conservatory, but also feeding other caterpillar life cycles in the back. And so it's a really cool spot to be because you really see how it all works. This is nice, calm, and cool. Yeah. Back there, there's so much
where
activity.
all the energy happens. Right, well, thanks for giving us such a quick tour. We're going to be seeing lots of other areas in Niagara, so make sure you stay with us. Lots more coming up on Morning Live.
Great swing, Emily.
Wow, I think that was my best shot yet.
I think it was.
It's time to up my performance. Here I am in Niagara Falls. We are at Legends of Niagara Golf Course. We are in the Niagara Performance Centre being joined by Tom, and it is Tom's job here to up my golf game by helping me out with some better equipment.
So based off a few of the numbers we have here, this is a launch monitor system that measures your carry distance, your total distance,
That's
your
super
spin,
cool.
And we have a few different options here for you. And based off these numbers, I think we've built a club that will be perfect for you.
Okay, talk to me about some of these numbers. So as a junior golfer, as an incredibly novice golfer, what do these numbers mean?
So these numbers are tracking your spin and your launch angles, which basically help us calibrate exactly what shaft you're going to need and what head you're going to need.
Okay.
So if you're a more novice player, we're going to give you a more forgiving club, and if you're a more professional player, we have clubs that are built for some of the PGA Tour pros.
Oh, okay. Now anybody can come in here and get help from you guys, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So you don't have to be necessarily a member of the club if you're just in the area.
No,
and
we're
you're visiting.
completely public. Niagara Parks, we welcome everybody and anybody.
Okay.
So we have plenty of options for everybody.
All right. So now you want me to try this?
Yes, please do.
Watch out, Luke.
Let's just make sure that's flashing, not flashing there.
Ah, technology, isn't it the best?
Oh, it sure is.
Ready.
And you are good to go, Emily.
All right. I hope I can hit it now. I'm all nervous. Oh,
And
wow.
that's fantastic.
That made such a big difference.
Yes, so it's a little lighter club. It's a lot easier to hit. And just based off that alone, we would be able to build you an entire set of those. And you would have the same advantage as a PGA Tour player has. Have a lot more confidence in not just that you're going to be better at golf, but also that your equipment's absolutely perfect for you.
That's amazing. Okay, so how do people kind of get in touch with you guys if they want to come in here? Do they have to make an appointment,
Yes,
go online?
absolutely. So you go to NiagaraParks.com and you go to Performance Center, and it's very user-friendly. You can book anytime on there.
All right, well, thanks for having us, Tom.
Yes,
and
thank you for coming.
For helping me up my golf game here. Trying really hard. Coming up, we are going to be taking a tour around the falls. We're going to go behind the falls into the Power Generating Center. All of that coming up on Morning Live, but for now, I'm going to send things back inside the studio. Well, you are looking at the newest attraction to the Niagara Parks Tunnel Station, Power Station rather. We're looking at the tunnel, and we just walked all the way through that. It is super, super cool. Cool being an understatement. It is cold in the tunnel, but it is nice and refreshing on a hot summer day like we have today. Jim and I are hanging out. He's telling us a little bit of the history behind this building. When was it built?
Well, way back in 1901, they started blasting away here to make the power station and the tunnel. And it started generating power in 1905 and operated right up until 2006.
Wow.
And then we took it over and opened up the power station for people to visit.
Yep.
And then last year we opened up the tunnel, which gives people this cool river level view of the Great Falls here at Niagara.
This is super cool. You've got the Canada side and the American side.
That's
in
right.
Great view. Wow, so what else can people expect to see here besides the tunnel and the view if they're visiting the power station?
Well, if they're interested, they can take a tour of the power plant itself and learn more about the history of it and the origins and really power starting here at Niagara on a big, big scale.
Yeah.
And then they can come down here. It's nice and cool, like you said, in that long tunnel. And then you come out here where it's warmer and mistier.
It is.
And you're getting this amazing view of the horseshoe.
Wow. Yeah.
And then you can look up and realize how big of a drop it is.
Oh my, so how many stories underground are we?
We're about 16 stories. So that tunnel we came through is 16 stories underground.
Wow. That is a really spectacular sight. Yeah, and when you're going down in the elevator, I mean, it feels like you're going down far. It starts to smell a little bit, you know, cellar-like when you're going down in the elevator. But it's really cool because you can see all the different levels in the actual building. And you said that sometimes some people that worked in the tunnel still work here.
Yeah, we have staff. One gentleman who worked when it was an operating power station who now works here. So
that's super cool.
That's the great thing. We have these folks who still live in the community, who worked here. Sometimes generations of their families worked at the power station because it was working for 100 years.
Yeah.
Generating power. And they know all the details, every nut and bolt, how the place functioned, what it was like to work here.
Yeah, what it was like to be an employee in such a massive...
But I think this view you're getting now is one of the coolest views you're going to get here at Niagara Falls.
Yeah, we say that Niagara Falls is one of the many wonders, but it's the different perspectives that you get to see, which is what I find wonderful.
And all we did with the power stations is we borrowed the water.
Yeah.
So literally the water gets drawn into the power plant.
Yep.
Went down, when we took the elevator ride down, 180 feet, 16 stories, and then it would shoot out this tunnel. So you weren't flooding any land, you weren't building a big dam or anything. You just borrowed the water and put it right back in the tunnel.
So spectacular. Okay, well, thanks for the tour. In a minute, we're actually going to be jumping behind those falls, so make sure you stay with us because we've got lots more coming up on Morning Live. Another reason why you desperately need to come to Niagara Falls this summer is for Journey Behind the Falls, run by Niagara Parks. It's one of the best attractions here. Chris, tell us a little bit about this journey.
Well, the journey you take is to the base of the falls. So the mist is coming down on you, you're looking up, it's as close as you can get.
It's super thundery. Like, that's what I love. You can hear the thunderous roar of the falls while you're standing here. And to be inside the actual, I was going to call it a building, but it's not. You're in like a rock formation as you come through.
Yeah, the attraction itself has an amazing history. We've just done some updates to the visitor queuing areas. So, you know, celebrating that history, bringing a lot of the archival footage in, and really just kind of, you know, this is a 200-year-old attraction, really, in terms of, you know, the first people to come down here and, you know, they're climbing over ladders, boulders. It's a little bit different now, a little bit safer, more accessible. So we're happy to do that.
Yeah, you actually have a picture on the wall that's fascinating. It's the first picture of Canada that was ever taken.
Yeah, so the first photo ever of Canada was taken in 1840 with some very antiquated technology, or I guess state of the art at the time.
Yeah.
But that's really what we've done throughout the updated areas of the space. So for people that have been to Journey Behind the Falls before, a reason to come back and see some of the updates that we launched on Canada Day.
Well, and it never gets boring, you know, standing here and watching this magnificent flow of water, because not only can you see Horseshoe right in front of you, but you can actually see the American side as well. A really good view, and you can see the Maid of the Mist going back and forth.
Yeah, it really surrounds you. When you're at Journey Behind the Falls at the lower deck, it's all around you. You know, you're getting misted on. Like you said, you can hear it, you can feel it, all the senses.
Like, no matter how many times you come, I still think it's going to be fantastic. So if you have come before, it's time to check it out again. Come to Journey Behind the Falls. It's one of the many, many, many attractions here at Niagara Parks. Thanks so much for having us today. We've had a really good time touring around.
Thank you, Emily.